We all know that AI has taken the world by storm, and I keep hearing that I need to integrate it into my design work, that I need to design with it and learn all the tools. And to be honest, I was a bit hesitant. But for the last few months, I've been trying out different ways to integrate AI in my design workflow. So today, I want to show you the 3 ways in which I actually use AI in my day-to-day design work in a way that feels the most integrated for me to speed up tasks, find out better design solutions, and eventually be a better designer. So a bit of context about myself. I am a UX designer, but I work mostly in the augmented and virtual reality space. So that being designing experiences for headsets. So designing for this sort of experiences using AI is quite tricky, mostly because these AI agents have been trained with flat 2D design. So anything that has to do with traditional UI for apps and websites. So when you ask AI to help you with spatial design, this is where it gets tricky. However, there are tasks that I need to do every single time that I start a project, and this is where AI has been the most useful for me, because these are quite lengthy, in-depth tasks that usually take a long time, and by integrating AI into it, it has allowed me for more time to actually design, which is what I'm good at. And these tasks are basically research, structure and frameworks, and quality checks. Let's start with the first one, research. This is the problem that I had. Research takes a long time. I always had the feeling that I was missing out on some guidelines, on some documentation, and especially working in this XR space, I have the feeling that there's always new documentation or new practices coming in, so I need to stay up to date. Now, if I start a project every few months, I need to learn what's new or if there are new ways of interacting or understanding XR design. That's where AI really helps me on doing that in-depth research that I don't usually have the time to do. So if before I had to dig through guidelines and websites and articles, now I can ask Claude or ChatGPT to do some deep research into the aspects that I want to find information on. Now, once I've done all this bulk documentation and all this work, it comes step 2, structure and frameworks. So let's say I'm working on this project. I have all this pile of documentation. I've told the AI agent roughly what I want to do. I never mentioned client and I never mentioned what the project is specifically about, but it has an idea. So with all this information, I can go in there and ask, what's the best way to approach this? What should I approach first? Are there any questions that I should be asking myself that I've completely missed? And finally, if the framework that I'm suggesting doesn't work or is quite limited by my knowledge, are there any frameworks that I should be considering for this specific project? So in a way, this is helping me structure my thinking. It's not doing the thinking for me, it's not doing the strategy for me, but it's setting up a structure that I can hold on to guide me in the first steps of a project, which is usually where I'm the most lost. So I have my research, I have my structure, and I just go and do the work. I do the design myself. But once I have the documentation for this project, I go into the agent and ask questions again. Are there any dead spots? Are there any missing pieces? Have I overlooked anything? And is there information that I'm missing that could be crucial for this project? Are there any edge cases that I haven't considered? And if there are specific tasks that I've done, like user personas or user flows, is there anything specific that I've missed on those? So with that, I can have a bigger picture, like someone coming in and saying something that I've missed. But instead of having someone next to me, I work by myself, I have an AI agent that helps me. So one caveat that I would add is that this sort of task requires a lot of good sense and judgment, because these AI agents could be giving you information constantly. So you have to know when to stop. And that requires experience and actually knowing what you're doing. So these are basically the 3 ways in which I've integrated AI into my workflow: research, structure, and quality checks. You might be saying, well, you can still use AI to create assets or to think about user flows or to create stuff for you. And I would say, yes, I agree. But at the same time, I don't fully trust it yet. And to be fair, I work with amazing teams of developers and artists and creators that can actually do the work. And yes, I know that AI seems to be everywhere and that there are a lot of people that are fearing for their job. That's why I try to be very conscious on the things that I use AI for and the things that I go and ask a person for. Whenever there's a task that I can use AI as a companion, not as a substitute of another task, I will use it. However, as soon as it crosses that border of this should be done by a person because I need to have that back and forth and I need to have that human connection with someone, I will go and ask a person. So I hope this has given you a few different ideas on how to use AI that go beyond designing interfaces. And I'm still a firm believer that AI is a tool that needs to be learned, but not a tool to replace others. For me, it's a tool that I want to learn to speed up tasks that take me a long time to do so that I can have more time and put more effort into actually designing, which is what I'm good at. So again, it's not a substitute, it's more like an assistant. Let me know if this video was useful, if you want a bit more depth into the prompts that I use or how I set up the system, or maybe the actual tools and techniques that I use. I hope this was useful and I'll see you on the next video.